After covering my brother's gambling debts for the third time, I told him I was done. He said, fine. Just remember who took you in after your divorce. The next day, I found my name removed from our inherited property deed. When I confronted him, he just shrugged and said, prove it. So I did, with the help of a 13-year-old email chain that blew everything up at the family reunion. I didn't say a word to Terry after he told me to prove it. I packed my stuff and left that same night. Slept in my truck for a couple days while I figured things out. I wasn't going to let him see me weak again. He thought I was just the quiet brother, the pushover, the one he could steal from without a fight. That was his first mistake. I got a cheap motel room with what was left in my account. Reached out to a local lawyer, guy named Daniel who used to work with my parents on estate matters. He didn't promise much, but he listened. Really listened. When I showed him the email chain, his eyebrows shot up. This doesn't make the house yours legally, he said, but it definitely shows there was an understanding. If we can prove you never signed the quitclaim deed, we might have a fraud case. Turns out Terry filed a fake deed with my forged signature. Daniel pulled the recorded copy from the county office, and I nearly choked when I saw it. It was my name all right, but the signature looked off. It was close, but not mine. And worsey. He backdated it 6 months, trying to make it look like I gave him my half before any of the gambling debt blowouts. I remembered every conversation we had. Every promise. Every damn time I bailed him out. I also remembered where the last real paperwork was stored. An old fireproof box at the house. But I didn't have access to it anymore. That's when I got smart. I knew my cousin Sarah was tight with Terry's girlfriend, Jenna. I gave Sarah a call. Hey, random question, I said, keeping it light. You still hang out with Jenna? Sometimes, she said. Why? I left some of my stuff at the house. Terry's being a pain. Think she'd help me get it back. Sarah was quiet for a second. I don't know, Mark. Things are weird over there. Weird how? She said Terry's been hiding from people. Like not answering the door. A guy came by last week yelling about 10 grand. Jenna was freaked. Bingo. I didn't need Jenna to like me. I just needed her to be scared of what Terry was hiding. A few days later, Sarah texted me. Jenna found the box. She wants to give it to you. Said she doesn't want to be involved in any of this. I met Jenna in a Walgreens parking lot at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. She handed me the box like it was radioactive. I didn't ask questions. Just said thanks and drove off. Inside was everything. Original deed copies. Handwritten notes from Mom. A USB stick with legal PDFs, bank records, even scanned signatures. Including one of mine, dated and notarized, that looked nothing like the forged quitclaim. I gave all of it to Daniel. This is enough, he said. We'll file next week. But I wasn't done. The family reunion was that weekend. Annual tradition. Everyone was going to be there, cousins, uncles, aunts, even folks from out of state. Terry, of course, was coming too. Probably planned to play the host now that he owned the house. I asked Daniel if I could talk about the situation publicly. As long as you don't accuse him of a crime outright, yeah, he said. Just be careful. Don't tip your hand too much before we file. So I planned it carefully. I showed up to the reunion late. Everyone was already eating, drinking, catching up. Terry saw me walk in and gave me this smug, fake smile like nothing had happened. Look who decided to crawl out, he said loud enough for people to hear. I smiled back. Didn't want to miss the fun. People asked how I was doing. I kept it vague. Hanging in there. Had a rough patch, but things are looking up. When most of the family was gathered under the backyard canopy, I stood up with a drink in hand. Hey, I just want to say something real quick, I said. I've been dealing with a lot lately. Some of you know. Some of you don't. But I've been going through something pretty serious. Everyone got quiet. All eyes on me. A few months ago, I found out my name was removed from the deed to this house. Without my permission. Without my signature. Murmurs started immediately. Terry submitted a quitclaim deed, I said. Problem is, I never signed it. He stood up. Mark, what are you doing? I ignored him. Luckily, I found proof. Emails from Mom. Original paperwork. Even a copy of my real signature, notarized and dated. What he submitted. It's a fake. A forgery. Terry's face turned red. You lying piece of, I cut him off. I'm filing a civil suit next week. Fraud. Forgery. Maybe more. You want to prove it? Fine. I will. In court. Dead silence. Our Aunt Cheryl dropped her drink. My cousin Tony muttered, Jesus Christ. Then Jenna, who no one even noticed was standing by the porch, spoke up. He showed me the papers a few weeks ago, she said. Said Mark signed them, but I had a weird feeling. I didn't want to say anything, but yeah. The signature looked weird to me too. Terry lost it. Started yelling at her, at me, at everyone. You people are insane. You're just jealous I'm the one who took care of Mom. You all abandoned her and now you want the house. But nobody was listening anymore. I walked away. Got in my truck. Let the storm erupt behind me. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. But for the first time in years, I didn't feel like the quiet brother anymore. The day after the reunion, my phone blew up. Half the family was calling to apologize for not seeing it sooner. The other half? Mad that I aired dirty laundry in public. But I didn't care. I wasn't trying to win a popularity contest. I was taking my life back. Terry didn't call, but he made his next move pretty quick. I went back to the motel after the reunion feeling like I finally had the upper hand. That lasted until Tuesday morning. I woke up to a sheriff's deputy banging on my door. Mark Evans? Yeah? You've been served. Terry had filed a restraining order against me. Said I threatened him at the reunion. Said I made him fear for his safety. It was complete garbage. But the restraining order came with teeth. I couldn't go near the house. Couldn't even contact him. Which meant if the court delayed our hearing, I'd be stuck on the outside looking in, maybe for months. I called Daniel right away. He's trying to get ahead of this, Daniel said. Trying to flip the script. He knows he's in trouble. He's panicking, I said. Yep. And when people like him panic, they get sloppy. That's when I told Daniel something I hadn't said out loud until then. I think he's still gambling. Worse than before. I think that's why he tried to steal the house. Any proof? Not yet. But I'm gonna find it. I couldn't touch the house legally. But I could talk to people around it. I started with Jenna. I figured she was done with him after he screamed at her in front of everyone. Turned out I was right. She had moved out 2 days after the reunion and was staying with her sister. I'll help you, she said. He lied to me too. She gave me his current schedule. Told me when he left for work, what nights he stayed out late, what sketchy people had been showing up to the house lately. She also mentioned something interesting, an old safe in the basement. He always kept it locked, she said. But I saw him put cash in it. Envelopes. A lot of them. That safe might have held the real proof. Gambling slips, IOUs, even money from loans he took out against the house. If I could get inside it legally, I could show just how deep he was in. Then I remembered something else. When Dad installed that safe back in '95, he wrote the combo on a sticky note and stuck it in one of his old fishing books. I used to help him organize those books. I remembered exactly which one it was, Midwest-based tactics. Problem was, the book was in the house. Jenna didn't flinch. I'll get it. That night, she snuck in while Terry was out. She was in and out in 5 minutes. Handed me the book the next day with a shaky smile. I flipped through it. Page 42. There it was. Still taped inside, 33-14-07. We were close. Daniel filed a motion to get an emergency hearing, arguing Terry's restraining order was a tactic to delay legal proceedings. The judge agreed. Set a hearing date for the next week. But things were already starting to unravel for Terry. That Friday, one of his friends came by the motel. Guy looked rough, missing teeth, long coat, twitchy as hell. You Mark? Yeah. I need to talk to you. I didn't invite him in. We stood outside. Your brother owes me 13 grand, the guy said. Said he had a house to sell. Said it was clean. I checked. Looks like there's a lawsuit now. I didn't answer. I don't care who wins. I just want my money. But I thought you should know he's been saying some things about you. Like what? Like how you're trying to get him locked up. Like how you're a liar. Said you're the reason he can't sell. Maybe he should have thought about that before forging my signature. The guy squinted. So it's true. It's all going to come out in court. He nodded slowly. Then I guess we'll all be watching. That's when I realized something else. Terry wasn't just in deep, he was sinking. And he was dragging anyone he could with him. I wasn't going to let that happen. I gave Daniel the safe combo. He filed another motion, this time to get access to the house for inspection under supervision. Jenna gave a statement about the safe, the cash, the gambling. The judge approved it. We were going back to the house. Next week, under legal supervision, we'd open the safe. And I had a feeling we were about to find a hell of a lot more than just gambling slips. The court-appointed visit to the house was set for a Thursday morning. It was cold and gray out, one of those Ohio mornings where everything feels like it's waiting to break. I hadn't been back to the house since Terry kicked me out. Just standing in the driveway felt wrong, like I was stepping into a life that wasn't mine anymore. Daniel met me there, along with the court officer. Terry didn't show up, even though he had been notified. That didn't surprise me. He probably figured if he wasn't there, he could still play dumb later. Let us do the dirty work, then deny everything. The officer unlocked the door and walked us in. Everything looked worse than I remembered. The place was falling apart. Dishes stacked high in the sink. Beer cans all over the floor. Couch cushions missing. A hole in the drywall near the TV. Looked like he'd punched it. We went straight to the basement. The safe was still there, bolted into the cement wall. I knelt down, dialed the combo 33-14-07 and heard a satisfying click. Inside were 2 stacks of cash, a pile of betting slips, several folded-up envelopes with loan documents, and a small black notebook. Daniel opened the notebook, started flipping through. His face went pale. "These aren't just debts," he said. "These are payouts." "What do you mean?" "He's been laundering, using your parents' house as collateral for loans, then flipping payouts between different accounts. These notes mention Venmo names, fake businesses, even cash drops." He turned a page and froze. "Jesus." He handed it to me. My name was in there. Not just as Mark either. Full name. Multiple times. Next to numbers. Big ones. 20 grand. 32 grand. Even a 50. "What is this?" I asked. Daniel sighed. "He's been using your name to take out more loans. Probably forged your signature again. This is criminal now. Not just civil." I stared at the page. My stomach dropped. This wasn't just about stealing my half of the house anymore. This was identity theft. Fraud. Potentially federal. We collected everything under the officer's supervision. Filed it as evidence. That night, I sat alone in the motel, staring at copies of the documents. I thought about Mom. How she always said, "Family sticks together, no matter what." How ashamed she'd be if she saw what Terry had done. Then I thought about Dad. He was tougher. He believed in consequences. He's got to live with what he does. Dad once told me when Terry crashed his car in high school and lied about it. And if he won't own up, someone has to make him. That someone was me now. We gave everything to the county DA. Daniel said it was enough for criminal charges. And they agreed. The DA launched a formal investigation. The county froze the house deed pending the outcome. Terry still hadn't responded to the civil suit. But that changed fast. 3 days later, Daniel called me. "You're not going to believe this," he said. "He filed bankruptcy." "What?" "Personal and business." "Says he's insolvent. Claims he never took out loans in your name, never gambled, and that you're harassing him because you're jealous he got the house." "He's lying." "I know. But it's his legal position now." "What does bankruptcy mean for us?" Daniel paused. "It complicates things. If the bankruptcy judge accepts his filing, it could slow everything down. We'll need to argue that the fraud disqualifies some of his debts from being discharged. He's trying to bury everything under paperwork." "Yeah," Daniel said. "But there's one more thing. The DA called me this morning. Terry was caught on camera at a check cashing place in Dayton trying to use your driver's license number to open a payday loan." My chest tightened. "When?" 2 days ago. "He's not stopping." "Nope. But now we've got him on video." That's when I realized something terrifying. If he'd already used my name for loans, what else had he done? I checked my credit report. There were 4 accounts I didn't recognize. 2 credit cards, 1 small car loan, and 1 payday loan maxed out. The car loan? Under my name. Registered to a Nissan Altima in Dayton. He'd bought a car under my name. And it was still out there. I called Daniel again. "We have to file with the police. Right now." He agreed. That weekend, a detective called me back. Asked me to come in. I brought every piece of paper I had. The safe documents. The fake deed. The gambling slips. The video stills the DA had pulled from the check cashing place. The detective didn't say much during the meeting. Just took notes. Asked a few questions. Then she said, "Mark, I'm going to be honest with you. This isn't just fraud. This might be grand larceny. Depending on how much he's taken under your identity, we're looking at a felony. Maybe multiple. That was when it really hit me. My brother wasn't just stealing money. He was trying to be me, to erase me, take what was mine, and leave me with the wreckage. And the worst part? He was almost getting away with it. Almost. It took 4 more months for everything to come crashing down. I lost 20 pounds during that time. I couldn't sleep right. I had to freeze my credit, change my bank, switch my phone number. Every day I found a new mess Terry left behind in my name. But I kept pushing. The county pressed charges. 3 felonies. Forgery. Identity theft. Fraud. The payday loan incident was the final nail. They had the video, the forged signature, and records showing he used my social security number. He was arrested at 6:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. I got the call from the detective. He's in custody. I didn't celebrate. I just sat in the motel room, staring at the TV that wasn't even on. I should have felt relief, but all I felt was tired. The family is split right down the middle. Some still defended Terry, said he was sick, that he needed help, not prison. Others said I did what I had to do. My Uncle Frank called me and said, "I loved your dad. And if he were here, he'd tell you the same thing I'm about to. This is on Terry, not you." Terry stayed in jail for 2 weeks before bail. Nobody posted it. When the trial started, I had to take the stand. I looked him in the eyes for the first time in almost a year. He looked rough. Hollow cheeks. Hair grayer. But the arrogance was still there. That smug twitch at the corner of his mouth. Like he thought this was still some kind of game. The prosecutor laid it all out. The forged deed. The notebook. The gambling slips. The fake car loan. The payday scam. The emails from Mom. Jenna's statement. The DA had put together a full timeline showing how he slowly tried to erase me financially, legally, emotionally. Then Daniel gave me the look. It was my turn. I walked up to the stand and told the court everything. From the first time I covered a gambling debt to the night I found my name missing from the deed. I told them about the motel. The email from Mom. The sticky note in the fishing book. The cold smirk when he told me to prove it. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just told the truth. When I stepped down, I looked at him one last time. He didn't meet my eyes. The jury took less than 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. He got 8 years. Could be out in 5 if he's well behaved. But I know Terry. He won't last 5 months without trying to pull something. The court restored my half of the house. They also ordered a full restitution plan. But I'll never see that money. He owes over $100,000 across different accounts, and most of it's tangled up in debt collectors and civil judgments. The house is back in my name, but I'm selling it. I can't live there anymore. Too many ghosts. I made one big mistake, and I live with it every day. I should have said no the first time he asked for help. I thought I was doing the right thing, being a good brother. Standing by family. I gave him every chance. And he used every one of them to bleed me dry. So now I live in a small 1-bedroom apartment on the other side of town. It's quiet, clean, and it's mine. Sometimes, people ask me if I'd ever talk to Terry again. I tell them no. Not because I hate him. I don't. I just finally learned the truth. Some people don't need a second chance. Some people just need to be stopped. And I stopped him.